Krishna Maharaj, Anvat Namaskar.
Today's class is in English because it is Saturday. Is there going to be any translation? Shesharupa?
Maharaj, direct English la kuduthala mana.
Direct English only, yeah? Because Saturday, Sunday is English. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavadi Naishtiki. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 8, Text 7. Priyavratto tanapadau shatarupapate sutau Vasudevasya kalaya rakshayam jagatahastitau. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki. Swayambhuva Manu had two sons by his wife Shatarupa, and the names of the sons were Uttanapada and Priyavrata, because both of them were descendants of a plenary expansion of Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They were very competent to rule the universe, to maintain and protect the citizens. This is the shloka for today. It is said that these two kings, Uttanapada and Priyavrata, were specifically empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unlike the great king Rishabha, who was the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Jaye Uttanapadasya sunitihi surichistayoho surijihi prayasi patyur netara yat suto dhruvaha. King Uttanapada had two queens named Suniti and Suruchi. Suruchi was much more dear to the king. Suniti, who had a son named Dhruva, was not his favorite. Purport: the great sage Maitreya wanted to describe the pious activities of the kings. Priyavrata was the first son of Swayambhuva Manu, and Uttanapada was the second. But the great sage Maitreya immediately began to speak of Dhruva Maharaja, the son of Uttanapada, because Maitreya was very eager to describe pious activities. The incidents in the life of Dhruva Maharaja are very attractive for devotees. From his pious actions, one can learn how one can detach himself from material possessions and how one can enhance one's devotional service by severe austerities and penances. By hearing the activities of pious Dhruva, one can enhance one's faith in God and can directly connect with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And thus, one can very soon be elevated to the transcendental platform of devotional service. The example of Dhruva Maharaja's austerities can immediately generate a feeling of devotional service in the hearts of the hearers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunatana Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Sri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Anup Prabhu, is It's being broadcast and I have to speak in English only?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. So we have had the opportunity to visit Prahlad Maharaja's teachings and Narsimhadev Leela for several days now. Narasimha Chaturdashi is over. We are also reading in our Bhagavatam readings every day, which we are doing in the afternoon. For those who want to join, you can join that from 1:30 to 2 o'clock. We are reading about Dhruva Maharaja.
1 to 1:30, Maharaj.
Pardon?
Sorry. Okay. Sorry.
1:30 to 2 o'clock. So, those who want to join can join also. There we are studying the beautiful Leela of Dhruva Maharaj, who is also another young boy like Prahlad. These are very interesting pastimes of the Lord with his boy devotees. That a little later. Dhruva Maharaj's history shows that he was the son of King Uttanapada's queens. One of the queen was Suniti, and Suruchi was another queen, and she had a son named Uttama. Uttama and Dhruva were more or less same age. It's just a sort of two different mothers. Suruchi was not that she was a bad lady. It is that she was more inclined towards her son, as most mothers would be. And it was very natural. Many things that happened here were very natural. Suruchi, of course, was a little more exaggerated than usual. She exhibited her prejudice and bias towards her son. How did she do that? Both of the sons were playing around with the father. And then each one was trying to climb onto his lap. Uttama was trying to climb, and Dhruva was also trying to climb. And there was Suruchi. So when she saw Dhruva Maharaj, who is not her son, but Suniti's son, climbing onto the lap of the father, she prevented him from doing so by saying, "You have no right to climb the lap of your father, nor will you be able to sit on the throne. You have to be born in my womb in another life for you to be able to climb on the lap or sit on the throne." She said this to Dhruva, who was trying to climb on the throne. Very small boy, 5-year-old boy. So it was such a strong statement. It hurt him very much. Get off, get down, move off. You cannot climb onto the lap of your father. Only my son, Uttama, can do that. So you can see the scene. Just a small boy. There's no difference. They don't see all that. Both of them together are playing. But she said this. And Uttanapada did not say anything at that time, because he was under the control of his wife. She was very powerful. And he had invested a lot inside her. Obviously, she must have been very attractive and very close to the king. So this boy Dhruva got very, very hurt. And it's described that he was heaving and crying, almost breathing very heavily. He quickly ran to his mother for some shelter from this hurt, harsh words. He ran to his mother and must have hugged his mother. And his mother would have embraced him. And he would have reported to his mother, unable to speak. And his mother told him, "I am very sorry, I cannot do anything about it. Because the king, your father, has definitely shown a lot of special attention to his wife, Suruchi. I am not really very important. I am not really very important. I have no place. And I cannot do anything for you, my dear son. And she embraced him and cried. How horrible is this situation for me that my son has been hurt like this and I cannot do anything about it. So there was powerful emotion in both the son and in the mother. But the mother, she was a devotee. And so she told the son naturally, nobody can help us. Only that Supreme Lord Narayana can help us, can help you. He is the person whom you should go and ask. She really meant it and she spoke it from her heart. So this boy, when he is hurt and is looking for a solution, he got this instruction. So in his mind, it became embedded that if at all anybody can solve this problem for me, it is only Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this Dhruva Maharaj, this young boy, he had the Kshatriya spirit. So he became very determined. He actually went to the forest. He went to the forest. He took off to the forest and he started performing his little meditation. I am going to see Narayana. He was trying to find out how to do that. He doesn't know anything. And by the arrangement of the Lord, who is also situated in Dhruva Maharaj's heart, Narada Muni came to know about it, that Dhruva has left his father because he's the emperor of the whole world. You know, secretly all these words go out and even if mystic powers, they come to know. So he went to the forest on his own to meet Dhruva Maharaj. Don't ask me which airlines he took, which airport he got on, which taxi he took and all that. He doesn't need to do all that. Narada Muni is a transcendental spaceman. He can think, I want to go there, and boom, he can be there. So he just waited for Dhruva to come to the forest and he appeared in front of Dhruva. He and the Lord were again working together. Just like in Prahlad Maharaj's case also, he was inspired to save Kayadhu, Prahlad Maharaj's mother, and protect her in his ashram, and he started teaching while Prahlad was in the womb itself. That was the plan. Krishna works very closely with Narada Muni. He's ready to do all this very close. Only both of them know what is happening. So he went there to Dhruva and he said, what are you doing here, young boy, in the forest, all wild beasts and everything here? Just go home. No, this is what has happened and I'm not going home. No, it will become all right. You're just a young boy. You got a good Kshatriya spirit. Very good. That's just between two mothers, something. He tried to adjust. But Dhruva was very determined. He said, no, I'm going to see Narayana. Can you help me how to see Narayana? Instead of arguing with me that I should go back. Can you give me some instruction how to? You are the famous Narada Muni. You know everything about. So Narada Muni appreciated his determination, his Kshatriya spirit. And he initiated him in the forest. He gave him a mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He gave this mantra and told him, you just chant this mantra deeply, focus on it, and you will see all sorts of things will happen, and Narayana you'll be able to see. That's it. He had full faith in Narada Muni's words. And he started doing it. He was very austere, taking bath 3 times a day in the river, eating some fruits, roots, berries and all that. And slowly he changed that also. He ate dry leaves and then he stopped drinking water also. Then he was only breathing air. And in this way, he increased his austerity day by day, week by week, month by month. And he became very powerfully situated. He was just standing there and meditating according to the instruction, putting his full energy. He was an uncontaminated little boy, 5 years old, born in a royal family, very nicely brought up. But unfortunately, this happened to him. So he had nothing in his head. He just sat down and meditated on the Lord. He just chanted this mantra. that Narada Muni had given with great faith and determination, with full faith that yes, if I follow this, he will come and I will see him and I'll ask him. And all the demigods and everybody could feel the power of the austerity of Dhruva. In all the 14 worlds, they could see, we cannot breathe, something is happening. And then everybody went to Brahma, informed, and in this way, they came to know and they went to Vishnu and they told him and all of that. Then the Lord said, yes, it's because of Dhruva doing this austerity. I'll get back to you. I'll go and see him. So this is the way his attention was caught, the Lord's attention. He went all the way to the forest and he manifested himself in front of Dhruva. And Dhruva opened his eyes and saw Narayana with his four-handed form, beautiful looking, amazingly beautiful looking. As soon as he saw him, he fell down at his feet, embraced his feet, and it's mentioned he kissed his feet. He kissed the Lord's feet, young boy, 5 years old. What a deadly austerity he performed. And the Lord appeared to him. And he was trying to speak to the Lord. But he's only 5-year-old boy, does not know how to, he doesn't have the material ability. So the Lord touched him with his conch shell on his head, blessed him, and he got the power to speak. Sanjeeva Yati, that's a nice shloka he chants in the beginning, right in the beginning. I forget that beginning. Anyway, so he says that, my Lord, you have given me the power. You are everything inside me. You are the power. He becomes so thrilled with seeing the Lord, got totally fallen in love with the Lord and his beautiful looks. And, he offers his prayers after he is touched with the conch shell. Very beautiful prayers. And in the prayer, he says, I am a stupid fellow. I came here for some completely materialistic reason. And you have shown yourself to me. Actually, I should be asking you for pure devotion, and my mind, I went and asked this. I am a very stupid person. And the Lord, he was very pleased with Dhruva and told him, no, you will rule. You will occupy your father's throne and you will rule for 36,000 years. After that, you will get planet Dhruva Loka. After that, you will come to me in Vaikuntha Loka. And all this you will do within the span of Brahma's lifetime. So he gave him very long life, all his material desires were satisfied and his spiritual desire also satisfied. And he said, I don't want anything actually, but the Lord said, no, you have this desire to occupy the throne, you enjoy it. So this is a story of a person who went to the Lord with material desire. You see, Krishna is telling that there are 4 types of people who come to me. Artho, Jignasur, Artharthi, Jnani, cha Bharatarsabha. This is the story of the person who went with material desire to the Lord and very seriously followed his guru. And the Lord appeared to him and he became attracted to the Lord and he completely changed to become a devotee, a pure devotee. So the story is that he went back home. In the meantime, Narada Muni, after initiating Dhruva Maharaj, he went to see Dhruva Maharaj's father. And he was feeling, I am feeling very bad. My son left me. I should have done something better. I am like this. I got attracted to everything. He was feeling very bad. And Narada Muni said, don't worry. Your son is going to come back in a completely different way. You would be amazed. He told him he is doing some deadly austerity and he is going to get many things. In the meantime, Uttanapada actually was willing to even retire and give up the kingdom. At that time, Dhruva Maharaj came back home successfully after seeing the Lord and achieving everything. And the father went and embraced him and cried, what an amazing son you are. You have achieved the thing which even I have not achieved in no time. So in this way, the story is told And Dhruva Maharaj rules after that and everything. And his stepmother, of course, his brother goes into the forest, gets something with the yakshas, and his mother goes behind him, and she got, enveloped in a forest fire, and she burns off, and something like that and all happens to her. Of course, Krishna did not like it. It looks like that she had offended Dhruva Maharaj. But anyway, the story goes like that. This is a story, it looks like, oh, this is something that happens in my house also. Sometimes this happened, that happened. But you can bring this story down to a mundane level and say, so what's so great about the story? Of course, it's something very great because a boy goes and sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He gets to see the Supreme Lord. It is definitely very, very wonderful. It's not an ordinary thing. The lessons we can learn from this are many. Many, many. Number one is, even if you have material desires, if you approach the Supreme Lord, right, He will do the needful for you. Because you have material desires, it's not that we have to approach somebody else. The great point here, I have seen, we may think that, no, I don't approach anybody else. But I have seen even devotees who sometimes, under the influence of the social situation they are in, their family members, relatives, this, that, everything. Initiated devotee I have seen coming to Sabarimala, because we were putting up, stall there in the hills those days. In my brahmachari days, I was climbing the hill and we were putting a big stall there and we were doing a lot of book sales. We were using all sorts of methods to sell the books, and many people were buying Bhagavad Gita. So I would see, once I have seen, and also other devotees have seen, that there were initiated devotee coming to Sabarimala with the black and head and the gear and all that. So when they were asked why, they said that, I am doing this every year for 40 years. I've been doing from a young age. How can I stop it? I said, what do you mean? How can you stop it? You don't need to worship Ayyappa anymore. You can worship Krishna. No, but certain things, my family members and all of them together, we do every year. So we have to do like this. And our desires like this, like this, like this. So it was very surprising. What Dhruva Maharaj said, I don't need. Sometimes our people who are devotees, they fall into that. I have seen devotees take their horoscope and go to astrologer, and astrologer says, do this parihara, do this homa, do this, and they go and spend huge amount of money and do all that. They do all that. So this is, you have faith on one side, and by knowledge, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everything you know. But still you have a tendency to move towards seeking somebody else apart from Krishna for help. This, Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita as less intelligence. Alpa medasha. But after becoming a devotee and after taking up Krishna consciousness, if you do, it must be super alpa medasha. Very thin, small intelligence. Very thin and small intelligence. So, as devotees of the Lord, what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, we should believe in. What these great devotees are mentioning in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we should believe in. We don't need to have any other alternative arrangement. This is what is Krishna consciousness. Whatever happens, we should be able to have our faith in the Supreme Lord. Dhruva Maharaj had faith. He had faith and his mother directed him properly. Yes, you go and you do this. You will be victorious. Because mother also had very good faith. So, when people have good faith in the Supreme Lord and you perform some activity, And do you need certain material facilities? Krishna knows it. Krishna knows it. And if you ask Krishna also, I think I am in this situation, maybe if this happens like this, it may be useful for me and I can render my devotional service. You leave it to Krishna. Two things you must do is you may ask if you want to. Nothing wrong in that. That's what we can learn from Dhruva Maharaj's instant. Number two, if Krishna wants to give it, he will give. If not, you should accept that Krishna does not want to give you because he has consideration for your spiritual life. There is something about it due to which reason he is not giving you. Accept that as good and continue to be loyally, faithfully fixed in your devotional service. Don't make it a precondition. This type of material calculation we should never do. If necessary, we can approach the Lord. And if the Lord doesn't grant it, well, that is good for me. Because Krishna knows best what is good for me. That is the great thing about Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj said, I'm not going anybody else. I'm going only to Narayana. Even though Narada Muni came and tried to tell him, go back home, he said, no, I must. And he was determined. So he actually saw the Lord. And the Lord, understanding the mind of Dhruva, gave him everything, material, spiritual, and a huge, long period of time, everything. And by that time, Dhruva Maharaj had also got disinterested. But still he was able to perform as a service to the Lord. That is another aspect, that whatever we do as devotional service, we should not think that this is not good, that is right, this is etc., etc. Making a material judgment normally on devotional service is not very much recommended. In the initial stages, we do it so that our mind gets fixed. What we like to do, we do. But a devotee is a person who will simply like to do what Krishna wants me to do. That's my only liking. There is not that I don't like to be temple president, I don't want, it's too much responsibility, I don't want to do this type of service, I want to do only this type of service and all that. What real devotion means is what will please Krishna. Prabhupada told us that try to do things to please Krishna, not to please yourself alone. It is not very important. Of course, in the initial stages of devotional life, it is important for us to actually be comfortably situated. So many times that's the type of choice we make. But as you mature, we should get pleasure of being engaged in any type of devotional service to the Lord. And that comes out of being fixed. And Dhruva Maharaj will show that because the Lord wants me to rule, although I am not interested anymore, I will rule because it pleases the Lord. That is this tendency. That mood, that attitude is very conducive for getting pure devotion to Krishna. Whatever the Lord has put in front of me, whatever the Lord wants me to do, what my seniors want me to do, my Guru wants me to do, what Prabhupada has asked us to do, whatever is coming in front of the Lord by the Lord's arrangement, we should do. That is Uttama, top class service. Third thing we can learn is, as parents, many of you are parents, you should always direct your child in the right way without compromise. If you direct him to go to Krishna under any situation and circumstance, that will be the ultimate good, both for you and for the child. Because in the end, you will see that Dhruva Maharaj has so successfully executed his life's goal that from Vaikunta, a whole airplane will come and he will be personally taken to Vaikunta. Jai Jagannath Baladev Shubhadramai ki. He will be personally taken to Vaikunta, Dhruva Maharaj. And while he's going to Vaikuntha flying, he will suddenly remember, what about my mother? And he will be assured that, don't worry, your mother is also coming behind in another airplane. He turns around to see that his mother is also coming in another aircraft, Vaikuntha aircraft. Because she is the person who inspired him to take up shelter of Krishna. A simple lady, although she is a queen, she's a devotee. And she felt this is the best advice for my son to take shelter of the Lord. She also went back to Godhead because of Dhruva Maharaj's success. See? So, we can learn lesson that if you direct your dependence according to Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam in the right direction, don't worry about these material things and judgments too much. A little bit, okay. But basically, he should focus some or the other on making him a devotee, him or her a devotee. Then you will see that you are also benefited because the son is taking the mother back to Godhead. Prabhupada writes there in the purport that I am hoping that all my disciples will practice Krishna consciousness in a wonderful way like this. And although I have shortcomings, I may have not come up to the mark. By their mercy, I will go back to Godhead. He writes this in the purport, saying that by their wonderful devotional service, I will be able to go back to Godhead. They may be better than me, that means. This is the very broad view of Prabhupada. So we should spread Krishna consciousness. There's a saying in English, charity begins at home. If you want to really spread Krishna consciousness, you should do it first to your children and your dependents. Give them Krishna consciousness. Give them good advice. Spend time with them. After all, they belong to you. They come from you into this material world. So if you spend time with them, you will see that you will reap great benefit because that child will become Krishna conscious and he may do full-time service and he will take you back to Godhead. Not only will he go back to Godhead, he'll take you also back to Godhead. Everybody. And this happens in many places. In the Bhagavatam, we can read that. Many stories. So these are some simple points from this beautiful instance of Surichi and Suniti's problem, or rather Surichi's problem with Suniti and with Dhruva, and how Krishna turned it around fully and gave that benefit to them. Sometimes the difficult things that happen to us, bad things that happen to us in this world, turn out to be the reason and the instrument for us to go back to Godhead. You never know. This one comment she gave to Dhruva, don't climb on the lap of your father, it is not meant for you, actually made him climb onto Vaikuntha Loka. Okay, not on my father's lap, but I'm going to Vaikuntha. I am going to Dhruva Loka. You have no authority there. Surichi can keep your lap and keep your father, your husband's throne with you. He went to Dhruva Loka. Better than Brahma, better than Manu, it is mentioned. And from there he went to Vaikuntha Loka and he took his mother and went back. And what happened to Suruchi? What happened to Uttama? They didn't even get the lap of the father or the throne. Right? So how important it is to direct your children properly. Because you get benefit also from that. Child also gets benefit. Whole world gets benefit. Right? So we should, in our community of devotees, the parents should make it a point to give a choice of a career in Krishna consciousness to their children, if they so want it. First, you should expose them fully to it. And you should be very happy if the child wants to do full-time devotional service. Be a brahmachari, get trained, do full-time devotional service to the Lord. And what is wrong? Great benefit the parents will get. They'll go back to Godhead. They'll go back to Godhead. So I'll stop here. Om Tat Sat. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nittai Guru Premanande.